I made a list of 5 terrible habits and how to kill them using specific practices. They get worse from one to another, the last one being the most awful. A bunch of them are not spoken a lot, yet they are atrocious for your mental health. Back in 2022, I got my period of depression that, according to modern doctors, should have been permanent, yet I cured myself in less than 2 weeks. My mission is to help you achieve the same, which will be an easy task if you overcome these bad habits. Here's my promise. If you give your full attention to this video, you make it full screen, you do the actionable steps I give you, I will cure your depression not in 2 weeks, not in one, not in half of one, but in a day. In a single day, you will feel at least 2 times better, which will motivate you to go even further. So make the video full screen and give it your full attention. The first habit deepening your depression is the lack of movement. How the hell did the lack of movement ever appear in humans? Well, it's no big surprise. Think about a caveman waking up in his rock pit. It wasn't even an option for him not to move because he'll simply die along with his family members. Now you can order food, work from home, or not work at all for children and teenagers. You can have fun by laying in bed or gaming on the computer instead of doing some sort of activities that enables movement. People with depression tend to have low energy, but the most atrocious symptom is stress. And guess what practice solves every of these problems? You guessed it, it's movement. I'm not even the one telling this. The AKA, also known as Alberta Kinesiology Association, says that anxiety is usually linked to the buildup of stress. Exercise is especially effective at reducing the stress hormones in your body. Think of movement as a stress management tool. You can shed stress through physical activities such as jogging, swimming, sports, or yoga. The AKA talks about jogging, swimming, yoga, all of these boring ass activities that you probably hate. My advice is that instead of practicing a specific sport like jogging or yoga, you should do whatever movement you think is the most enjoyable. I always see big dudes on the internet telling exercise beginners to go full hard 2 hours a day of intense cardio and weightlifting. Those are great, sure, but for a beginner it is a must to enjoy the process, or else it will be so easy to snap out of it. The most fun and easy movement I could think about that I do every time is when you are on a call with someone, just start walking around your house or even your bedroom. I recently had a call with my dad that lasted 3 hours. Yeah, that's pretty long for a call. Well, we both did over 8,000 steps just by walking back and forth in the bedroom without even thinking about it. It's not exercise that matters, it's movement. You're not obligated to be drenched in sweat. You only need your body to be activated by some sort of movement like standing up or just walking. And if you are motivated, home workouts are usually more pleasant than workouts in the gym. And every gym enjoyer / lifters started the journey with them. Me included. The second habit, killing your happiness and pulling you further into depression, isn't really a habit, it's stress. Someone talked about it in the movement section, but I didn't say the important things. If you put wood in a fire pit with some fire starters, all you need is a starting flame to burn everything down, right? Well, to use that example, your day-to-day life will be the wood, your challenges will be the fire starters, and the stress will just be the flame that just burns everything down and turns everything into chaos, also known as depression. Neuroscientist and podcaster Andrew Huberman did a whole 2-hour episode on the subject. He said that for each moment of stress, you increase your chances to become depressed, which he followed with, the best way not to become depressed is to control your stress levels. Simple, or it seems. Controlling your stress feels pretty hard, right? Because it can be generated anytime with a stressful moment like a school exam. So I'm going to teach you the best ways to control your stress. First is movement, as I said before, second is meditation, and last but not least is breath work. So for meditation, most people think it's a practice done by spirituals, but in reality, meditation is the perfect habit for everyone, especially if you have mental health problems. Most people will recommend doing it for 10 minutes each day, but it took me 2 years to get consistent with that. These people do not understand that as a beginner, you are not ready for challenges like that. Never expect to be consistent if you start with 10 minutes per day. If you are an action taker, install the app Medito. That is your meditation for today. Literally just installing the app. Tomorrow, meditate for 15 seconds. Yes, 15 seconds only, and then each day make it 15 seconds longer. It doesn't seem like much, but in 2 weeks you will be meditating consistently for more than 3 minutes every single day, which is unfathomably great for your mental health and stress reduction. All you have to do is meditate for 15 seconds, then each day add another 15 seconds. When you feel like it starts to be a challenge, start reducing your time because you will not stay consistent. You don't want the good habits to be a challenge. Keep it slow instead. Now for breath work. It's even easier to do than meditation. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman, again, explained a breathing pattern proved by studies to be even more efficient than meditation to control stress and mental health. This is the technique. You start by inhaling until you feel like your lungs are going to explode because of how much they are absolutely full. Then you sneak a little bit more air by pushing your chest and shoulders up to get the maximum amount of air possible. And then you exhale very slowly until you feel like your belly is completely empty. Feel free to pause the video and try it for yourself if you are an action taker. For the ones who tried, you should feel way more relaxed and calm. The two greatest benefits with this practice is that you can do it every time you encounter a stressful situation. The second benefit is that the studies found that only doing one breath will greatly impact your mental health, stress, and mood. And by the way, the practice takes maximum 30 seconds. If there was a magician who will tell you that by tomorrow your health and happiness will double if you just giving money, how much will you give him? I'm assuming quite a lot, right? Well, no need for spending your money, the magic is there. The third habit destroying your mental health is a poor sleep schedule. I'm going to make this section shorter because you already heard it, except for a few things. Most people should get 8 hours a day of sleep, as you know. But what we have never been told is that our sleep isn't 100% efficient. This means that 8 hours of sleep won't get you 8 hours of recovery. The average sleep efficiency is 80%, which means that if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, you need to be in your bed for 10 hours. But be careful not to go too much over because sleeping too much is as bad as not sleeping enough. Most mental health problems are caused by a poor sleep schedule, and it is something that everybody knows, yet they don't try to make an improvement. The best way to get good sleep consistently is to set a time for when you go to sleep and when you wake up. And exactly like the other points before, it has to be easy for you. Set an hour that you know would be hard for you to go to bed / wake up, or else you won't follow it and keep having a post-sleep schedule. Also try to remove any light source in your bedroom. You can also turn down the heat and stay away from screens an hour before sleep. All of these tricks will help you get a better quality sleeps, but the most important thing is bedtimes and 9 to 10 hours of time in your bed. The fourth habit we're going to talk about is isolation. Humans are social creatures. From the beginning of humanity, cavemen were grouped into tribes, and getting kicked out of the tribes meant death. Now our tribes have become family and friends, and to be kicked out of this new tribe doesn't mean death, but rather a godlike depression that would last until you get back with these people. For people of all ages, social connections are vital to survive. We're hardwired to depend on another one for support. When we don't get the connection we need, we're sadder, sicker, and more at risk of early death. This lack of connection is more common than many people realize. According to a survey conducted in January 2020, more than 3 out of 5 Americans feel chronically lonely. But here's the important part. It is normal for anyone who feels socially isolated to struggle with mental health, but there are steps you can take to cope with isolation and feel more connected. Here's my best advice to start being more social. First, you have to deal with anxiety. So breathwork, meditation, movement, all the things that I have talked about kill meditation. Then my favorite way to socialize by far is to become a regular somewhere. What I mean by becoming a regular is being at a place regularly so that people recognize you when they see you and you recognize them too, which can lead to casual conversations and then friendships. The beauty with becoming a regular is that it doesn't have to be in the physical place. You can join online communities of what you like, what you desire to be, and then find people that are very similar to you. This is called networking, and I think it is heavily underrated by everybody. Imagine a big room full of people like yourself that you can talk to from the comfort of your home without having trouble with anxiety. And the smaller they are, the easier it is for you because the other members are going to recognize you way more easily than in the big server of 100,000 persons. Which is why I am considering opening my own online community so that a very small amount of people can socialize together. I lived for 3 years in a village of 1,000 people, and just by going outside, everybody was just recognizing me. In a big city, forget about it, much like a big server. Another great way to socialize is with animals. Again, in the Andrew Huberman Lab podcast, he talked about relationships with pets and how it can have the same benefits as a human connection. If you already have a pet, you know how true this is. I lived my whole life with cats, and when I had to move somewhere else and leave them behind, it felt just like losing a family member or a friend. Cats and dogs are friends of humans, so if you are willing to adopt one, and if you already have one, just give more love to it. The fifth and most disastrous habit keeping you depressed is overcommitting. The number one reason why people do not get the results they want is because they overcommit on the actions to get there. For people with depression who overcommit, they will meditate for 10 minutes each day, eat super clean, train for 2 hours, but then they will stop because it's too hard, and now they will feel even worse than before starting. I can bench press around 175 pounds in the gym, but when I started, I benched a 45-pound bar. Imagine how stupid it would have been to try to bench 175 in my first day. When I started meditation, I did 15 seconds, not 20 minutes like I do now. If you overcommit, you fail in the long run and it makes you worse. Your ego is pushing yourself too much. Nobody started meditating meditation and did 10 minutes per day without skipping once. They all started by a very small amount and progressed over time. Why this habit is the worst is because it kills your motivation and self-image. And it is very difficult to realize that it is a problem because you are doing more of the good habits. Progressive overload is the key to achieving your goals while making the process more enjoyable. Everything is now sitting on your shoulders. Follow my directions for today and tomorrow. Watch this video more than once if you think it will help you, and especially watch it when you feel like no progress is being made. I am proud of you for taking action on this terrible problem poisoning your life. If you found this video valuable, you might want to check this other video where I'll talk specifically about good habits to make you overcome depression. Feel free to tell me in the comment section if you found that my video was valuable to you. I hope it was.